Welcome to another exciting edition to GroveCityHockey Presents
Hockey in our neck of the woods, and you, sir, were a very talked about person towards the end.
I'm a fifth-year senior, kind of. Well, it's my sixth year of college. Incredible.
Hey guys, we want to say thank you to our sponsor, Cutshield, for bringing you this episode. Make sure you check them out on the link below and use the promo code for 25% off your order. Used by all 32 NHL teams and players, Cutshield is the premier protective player clothing designed by players for players. Their innovative cut-resistant clothing has prevented serious injury to numerous players, including over 30 NHL players. Cutshield gives you the peace of mind to go out and play without worrying about injury. Use our promo code GroveCityHockey, all lowercase and no space, for an additional 25% off your order today. Welcome to GCH Podcast. I'm your host, Ben W. Stock, and with me is two very special guests, actually four special guests. I've got Steve and I've got Justin from the Madison Monsters, along with their daughters. They are camera women for the Madison Monsters organization. I just wanted to shout out to these two girls for all their hard work. So want to thank you, ladies, for all of the hard work you guys do.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Yep.
A little shy, huh? But Steve, Justin, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for taking the time to jump on and talk some shop with me.
Yeah, thanks for having us on.
Yeah, we definitely appreciate the opportunity. Love watching you guys. Love getting involved.
Cool. So tell us a little bit about the Madison Monsters. You guys are a newer organization. I don't know. You guys, this is your first year in MIHA, or is this second year? I want to say this is your first year. Oh, second year?
Second year.
So second year T4, first year T5.
Perfect. That's what I was thinking.
We lost our facility here in Madison June of 23, so we were looking for somewhere to play. Looked at a couple things, and MIHA stood out to us. Steve actually approached me about doing things, and we coordinated, got things together for last year. Took a look at the website of how the divisions were based, put a team together that we thought was going to be competitive, and the first tournament wasn't so hot.
Yeah.
So we had to regroup after that, get a couple extra guys, some better talent, and we did decent the middle two tournaments, and missed our playoff opportunity last year. So with T5 starting last year, like some of our lower end guys in T4 were like, hey, we want to try this. Let's start this. So, Steve and I put our brains together, put some things in motion, and we're able to get enough guys to be able to split the teams. And so I'm running the T4 team, and he's captain in T5.
That's awesome. Yeah, and it's one of those things where if you've never played in the MIHA, I don't want to say league, but it is a league. But in that MIHA style of play, that first tournament, you could either have a phenomenal tournament or you could have the worst tournament of your hockey career. It's one of those ones where you have to show up, you have to play every single game. No game is a guaranteed W anymore.
Yeah, and I'm a guy that I don't want to bring a stacked team. I would rather take a lower team and then find out later, like, we need to add talent, than to be like, hey, I got too good of guys. I think we've got from Madison alone, we've got 4 teams that are playing MIHA and among all 4 divisions too. So that, that's good that we have that representation across the board. And, for Monsters itself, we've probably got about 30 people now in our organization over the last 2 years that we can split, and we can do enough talent to do tournaments. We can do MIHA, we can do local leagues and split into 2 or 3 teams. We can do state wars. We can do Wish Cup or Narch or, tours or anything else. So I like the mixture of players that we have, and you've always got those guys that can teeter back and forth between like T4 and T5. Our T4 team has a couple guys that we would like to build a T3 team around. We have youth that we want to start up. So we definitely, we don't want to be a one-hit wonder. We want to be able to grow this and pass this on. And, we officially are a nonprofit as well. So, we try to take in some sponsorships to help with mitigate the hotel costs and travel costs.
Yeah, because you guys are traveling from Madison, which is not a short jaunt for some of these tournaments. I think the closest one you guys have is Chicago, and then everything else is Detroit, Columbus, Indianapolis would probably be your second closest one. Based on geographical. Yeah,
we love Indy. We love Indy. I know a lot of guys don't. We love Indy. It reminds us of our old rink.
Yeah, Indy's by far my favorite place to play.
Well, so Indy was the first tournament I got to come back to after being away for 7.5 years. And I walked in and I was like immediately hit with the hockey smell, because I didn't even step foot in the rink. I didn't watch any hockey. I'm like, I had to walk away completely, and was just like, I wanted to get back into it. My son was, I think, the same age as my daughter is now, 16, 17 months. And I was like, getting to that point where he could start to come with me. So like that first tournament, I was just like, let's do this, and went down to Indy, dropped off at my mom's, and she watched my son for the weekend. And it was, and haven't really looked back ever since. So, but yeah, the Indy rink is nice because it's not a huge facility, but it's the perfect size facility. The only thing that I think could be improved upon is definitely the flooring, because it does shrink and stretch quite a bit, especially on that broadcast corner that Grove City liked to set up. I mean, that was a pretty big gap there. But outside of that, the rink is really nice. Like you said, it's one of those things where it reminds you of different rinks throughout the the country.
It's so old school. I love it. Like the locker rooms are so unique, and
we'll do both tournaments there every year for both teams, and I think number one, it's one of the closer ones to us. Number two, I think a lot of teams prefer not to play there too, or are more they're closer to the Columbus or Detroit, Fort Wayne ones, so those are going to be their preferences. So I think we can get good matchups and good options to play there both times each year.
Yeah, and Columbus just opened up, so this is the first time that they've been a part of MIHA as far as hosting a facility, with the rink and everything. So it's going to be pretty cool to see how they continue to grow and continue to expand. Sounds like Nasher and his crew are doing a really good job down there with the Columbus Heat.
It's great that. Go ahead, Steve.
Yeah, the rink was pretty sweet. It was a lot of fun playing there. I warned everybody when we got there that place would be crawling with cameras, and sure enough, it definitely was.
Oh, I bet. So, Justin, tell me a little bit about how you got involved in the sport of hockey and what drew you to either playing or coaching. What was it like? Was it something that happened in your early childhood that was just like, hey, man, I really got to be a part of this, or it was you just happened to excel at playing?
So my dad grew up playing hockey. His dad grew up playing hockey as well. Never organized or anything, but my dad's been with the same group of guys for 30 years. Now that they're all retiring, they're all starting to play Tuesday mornings and stuff. I actually get to play with him on Wednesday nights, and Steve and some buddies play out there as well. As their group retired, I haven't been able to play with them for 25 years since I was in high school for ice. And so that was nice that I had that opportunity to do that. And, it was, my dad was always active. He was either mountain bike racing or, playing hockey or doing something. And, the hockey was something, a passion that I shared. He'd take me out to the pond all the time. And, we went to the local skating rink and found out that there was roller hockey there. And I fell in love immediately and haven't looked back since. And from there, I started playing, and I was a rink rat. I mean, I started working at the rink as soon as I could at 14. On my off days, we'd either go skating at our local rink or we'd go out an hour to a rink with a better floor. And then I was asked if I wanted to start DJing. Then I was asked if I wanted to start managing. Then I wanted to ask if I wanted to start operating. And, it just kept growing and growing and growing from there. I do well with kids, for ice right now. I'm on the board of directors for our local league. I run the 6 and under team that my son now plays on. For roller. I mean, I've coached a couple teams in state wars. We won a couple medals in that. Started. And I've done everything. Coach, ref, play, organize, scorekeep, everything. And anything hockey related now, I want to continue doing.
That's awesome. Steve, how about you? What kind of drew you to the sport of hockey, and particularly roller hockey? Because you said earlier you prefer roller over ice any day of the week.
I mean, when I was a kid, I have a buddy that still plays with me, Eric Bennett, on our team. We lived down the street from each other. We caught Mighty Ducks at the right age, at the right time, and had some rollerblades and a dead end street to play roller hockey on. And we played street hockey and until our skates were falling off of our feet. And then we would hit up the ponds in the wintertime and go play ice hockey. And I'm pretty sure I met Justin either at a Madison ice hockey pond or at Fast Forward when we were 8-10 years old, Justin.
Wow.
Yeah, roughly.
Yeah, I mean, it's
been 30 years for sure.
Going to the rink every Friday night for those Friday night skates, and I'm pretty sure I've been hanging out with you and your wife, since we were in 6th, 7th, 8th grade.
Wow, that's crazy. That's awesome, though. I mean, because that's like a tight knit community. I don't know how big you're. You guys are you guys in a suburb just outside of Madison, or are you guys literally in Madison?
So I think most of us we started in Madison, and now everybody's kind of outside in the suburbs. But for the most part, like I grew up in directly in the heart of Madison. But same with Steve. Like, I'm on my skates all day long. As a kid, I was out rollerblading. I'd rollerblade around the lake. Go play hockey up at the tennis court, wherever we could get it. And
getting kicked out of the tennis courts.
I remember those days.
Yep.
So cool. So now tell us a little bit about how the Madison Monsters formation came about. You guys, like you said, you talked a little bit about it, but what was it that outside of the rink closing that said, hey, we really want to find some tougher competition to test our mettle?
I was not willing to give up the roller hockey dream. I said, we have to find somewhere to play. I told Justin, I said, we'll get in a weekly league at Salt Creek. We'll go to Waukesha when we can. I said, I'm not going to give up playing roller hockey. We got to find somewhere to play while we don't have a building. And, we had some friends with a purple helmet, and some talk started happening around the Monsters logo. And I'm sitting at the computer playing around with logos and talking to jersey companies, and took about 6-8 months later, I have jersey proofs, and I get a lot of guys excited with that, and built some excitement and an organization around it. It was a lot of fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so Steve approached me about it. And actually, the Madison Monsters were a semi-pro ice hockey team within UHL late 1996 to 1999.
Yep.
But I mean, their stuff is public domain at this point, so we were able to, take it, modify it, use it. There's a youth league using it around here as well. But I like the fact that Steve modified the logo from what it was to make it our own. Do things from there. So, he's the one that it was his baby, his idea. He approached me about it, and we ran with it. I'm a businessman at heart, and like I said, coordinator, facilitator. So I put things in motion, and we worked together, and we partnered up, and this is where we're at right now, and we are just looking to grow it. I mean, it's only a year and a half in, and big things to come.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of like all of the roller hockey social media. Like the Instagram is just wild with the roller hockey, especially with the stuff out of California.
Yeah.
And one of the guys on our team started that Instagram, and I was like, no kidding, we can do that. And I said, give me the keys to that baby. And then he did, and I've been on it every day since, and it's been a shitload of fun.
That's awesome.
Yep.
So now you guys have your coach, Justin. You're coaching the T5 team. You guys just had your first tournament. Was it in Chicago? If I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
And you just had it this past weekend, right?
Correct.
Yeah. How did that turn out for you guys?
We went 4-0. Great weekend. I couldn't have played any. I couldn't have went any better. We played as a team. No idea what we were walking into. It was super fun. I'm happy we came home with a championship. Got to sit on the bench for T4. It was a heck of a weekend.
Nice. And then your T4 team, how did you guys do, Justin?
Our T4 team also won the championship this weekend in Chicago. So dual ships for Monsters. It was a phenomenal weekend all around. Our T4 team likes making things close. We lost our first game to the Mary Pats. Gave up 2 goals in the third. Beat Shamrocks to go 1-1 on Saturday. Had a rematch against the Mary Pats. Almost gave that up. We scored a tying goal with 30 seconds left.
Oof.
And then beat them in overtime. And then we took on Syndicate again, who we beat for the championship in Indy just before Thanksgiving. The same thing as the morning. We negated a nail-biter and gave up a couple goals. We got down. We scored a goal with 4 seconds left. And then just an amazing effort by LP Govain diving backhand to put it through. And our top D-man, Grant Unsater, just took it home in 10 seconds on OT.
That's awesome. Yeah, one of my former teammates, he was playing with the Chicago Hitmen. He was playing in net for him, and they brought home the ship up in T3. So that was pretty cool. I think he was back in town too, because normally he's over in Germany or in France or something like that.
Yeah, what's his name? Moreno?
Yeah, Eddie. Yep.
Yeah. I was talking to Sal about him while the game was going on.
Yeah, he's some kind of because he was going to school for mathematics and something else when he was skating, or when he was playing for us with the Great Lakes Gamblers and the Great Lakes Assassins, and then ended up going overseas to finish out his degree at whatever university he was at, and because I think he's from the Wisconsin area, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think he's just based outside of what was the W word that you said? Wakarusa?
Waukesha.
Whatever. There you go. I know. It's crazy because I've had teammates that play at that Waukesha facility, and I'm just like, ugh. But it's been 15 years. So,
Justin, isn't that Waukesha? That's Peter Dale and Farm Tough, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's all there is now. They're not doing it at their local roller rink either. Lawfer stopped doing it there, and yeah, Farm Tough Hockey that they have an affiliate now in Texas with Vince Free, who's done phenomenal things down there.
Yeah, he's getting a pro team putting a pro team together for Winter Nationals, and his pro team is going to be making their debut. At Winter Nationals, but then they're also going to do the full summer tour. So you'll see them at Narch Pro. You'll see them at the Palma Invitational, and then you also see them at tours.
We saw them at State Wars, and they were a lot of fun to watch. That was some of the best roller hockey I'd ever seen.
Yeah, and they got who's the goaltender they had was Danny. Who was it? Because he was playing with Blood and Feathers.
Oh yeah.
I know the name.
Yeah, it was like Danny. I want to say Danny Wade, but that's a skateboarder from back in the day, and that's not it.
Yeah, it is.
Man, I can't think of it.
I don't know the name. I just know Vinny because he grew up in Waukesha, and we played the first 3 State Wars together with him and Andy Cripps, and
I've been trying to
then
get Andy for a minute because I've got a buddy of mine. Well, my wife's cousin's husband actually played with Andy.
I played on a youth team with him when we were like 8 years old.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it was me and him for squirts, and then we moved up to Pee-wees, and they're like, yeah, you guys can't play together. And as much as I would like to say it was a rivalry since then, it was absolutely one-sided.
Yeah, Andy's pretty good.
He's got the hands, man.
That's what happens. So tell us what's next for the Madison Monsters. Sounds like you guys have some big things in the works. You still have one more tournament left in the T4, but you still have 3 left in your T5. Where are those tournaments at?
T5 goes to Detroit in February, and then we're Indy in March, but that's with T4, so that'll be a lot of fun. We'll get everybody there in a big Airbnb. That'll be a good time. And then I think that's March, right? Yeah, March. And then April we're in
Fort Wayne.
Okay, cool.
And that's Buzz's house, right? And they're same thing, like ice rink with a roller rink in the summer, I believe.
At Fort Wayne?
Yeah.
No,
yeah, the ice house.
Yeah, it's at the ice house. Yeah.
Yeah, that's where Buzz Central, I think, is out of, right?
Central.
That I don't know. I just know it's a very nice facility. There's it's 4 sheets.
Sweet.
Yeah, and it's all open. You know what I mean? Like it's crazy.
Yeah. The Mads, you can walk across every single one. It's a good setup they got there.
Yeah, it's really nice.
I'm excited that all of our tournaments too are like 3 weeks apart, 3 or 4 weeks apart. Like everything is like back to back. I don't have to sit for a long time, so that makes it nice.
Which is good because then it gets you into a rhythm. You're able, especially if you guys are still playing in like local leagues, you can get those teams, running together.
Yeah.
Or you could always scrimmage the Chicago Edge.
We've actually been trying to coordinate some things with them. We haven't yet, but we've been working on getting some things together with them.
Yeah, those guys are pretty good.
They're definitely trying to make a mark.
Yeah, they're doing what they got to do to make it happen. So kudos to them.
Yeah,
definitely.
So cool. Well, all right, guys. Well, what is some of the? Let's do this. What's some of the best hockey memories or moments that you guys can relay to us, so that way we can kind of get a general idea of your passion for the sport?
I mean, mine would be there's quite a bit to choose from. I mean, I've been playing every single week, every single year since 1992. So, there's definitely, me and Andy Cripps winning championships when we're 10 years old. There's a picture of us and our dads coaching us as we're holding a trophy at our outdoor rink, which closed down in 2001.
Yeah, great.
I'm kind of proud that I scored the very last goal ever at the facility before it shut down. Both mine and Steve's teams that we combined with won the last championships last summer. Summer 23. Playing State Wars, the inaugural State Wars for me, 2004. Mm-hmm. There's actually some pretty good video footage of me chipping a tooth and going ass over tea kettle at one of them as well.
That was in Minnesota, right? That was at the Excel Energy Center, right?
No,
State Wars? That was Narch.
The first 10 State Wars were in Bensonville at the Blackhawks practice complex.
Yep.
And then after 2014, then they started moving them around all throughout the Midwest.
Yeah.
I've probably played in about half of the State Wars. Mm-hmm. So those are some of the better memories that I have. We've played at 3 or 4 facilities around here. So, I mean, I could sit here, for a week and conjure up all these memories of positive things and things that we've done. I mean, I've coaching, couple coaching, no champions, but a couple second, third place youth championships at State Wars in 2013, 2014, 2015.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Steve, what about you, bud?
For me, it's playing with these guys that I've known since I was, a little kid. It's a lot of fun getting to see everybody grow up. I stepped away from it for a while. Justin was relentless. Even for 8 or 10 years, I didn't come to the rink. I still got a text every single 10 weeks. You want to play hockey? We got another section. I mean, it was relentless, and I got back into it, and I'm glad I didn't turn around. I got friends that play roller hockey now that are making better choices with their lives, and we're healthier and better because of it. And what better thing can we be doing than this? It's making us happy and healthy. We're not out drinking, and we're by far not the beer league team, that's for sure. We're mostly away from that, so it's been a lot of fun.
And there's nothing wrong with that, so that's awesome.
Yep.
So now let's bring the camera women back into this. This question is for you girls. What is your favorite memories or moments watching your fathers play? Yeah, I know, it's a shocker.
Yeah.
Quick. What was a good memory?
One of you.
Why do you like watching us? What was something that was positive that you took away?
It could even be hilarious.
I like seeing them fall down.
That does happen a lot.
That shows on people's faces when they get a goal.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
didn't catch all them camera smiles. That was the best.
That's awesome.
Huh? What? Speak up.
Celebrating as a team, I like that.
Yeah, that felt good yesterday, winning both of those, and that overtime winner was crazy. We all went bonkers like we're 6 years old.
It makes that drive home that much shorter.
Yes, it does.
I mean, it was a lot of fun too. We had everybody had their families there because it's closest to home, and all the teammates got along well, the families got along well. It made it just a really fun weekend.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's really cool when you can pull those kind of moments together with your friends and your teammates. It's just one of those things where not everybody gets a chance to do that. So like your coworker, he didn't get a chance to do something like that with his softball buddies or his flag football crew or his local basketball, league, So it's one of those things where it's really cool to be able to still have that bond and that chemistry with your teammates like that, and to do it away from home.
Yep.
Yeah, and the thing is that we're, we look at the rosters for some of the MIHA teams, and they're like you said, there's one that's 37 deep. We want committed guys. So, that's the reason we did the nonprofit way is, we have membership dues that you pay in to get a portion of the sponsorship to cover your costs. So we have both members and non-members, and we're, that's next step for Monsters is building up the number of members that we have so that we have the same pool of players and we're not having to ask, 4 or 5 subs each time. We're only asking, 2 or 3.
Right.
And I think both teams are pretty stacked right now and pretty consistent going forward. And we were already looking ahead to next year, like how our roster is going to fall and how are things going to be, and is there anybody else that we're going to add? And we know that some of the guys now that they see it, they're like, yeah, we want to jump in full time, and our members are at least going to jump by 50%, if not double.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of those things where, at first you're a little hesitant to dip your toe in the water, but once you do, the sky's the limit, that's for sure.
Yep.
And it's one of the only ones where you could go 0-2 on Saturday and take home the championship, by winning all 3 games, the following day on Sunday.
Yeah, it was interesting coming into that kind of concept, and I've gotten to be real close with Carl and everything, and just to understand like how it came and where it came from. And, obviously Mike Staples started, MIHA back in the day, but it's definitely evolved the last, 5-6 years. I mean, they're talking 70 some odd teams now between four divisions with, all the way from pro players down to your recreational guy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy because you got current pro guys such as Corey Hodge, who's also a member of Team USA. You've got Adam Swims, you've got Kyle Schultz, all members that are playing in MIHA as well. And then you got Nick Smolinski. You've got Mike Farinelli, who has a big footprint over there in the Detroit, along with Carl. Staples started MIHA, but then again, you got to bring in Sean Conlon for setting up the Chi-Town Shamrocks and running that for as long as he did. Both Mike Staple and Sean will be on the pod at some point this year. Yeah, because Mike lives right up the street from me, and Sean and I have been going back and forth for the last couple of months. Ever since he had a surprise murder case come up in his detective work up there in DeKalb. So he's like, "You got to give me a little bit, bud, but we'll definitely talk about it." So,
sure.
But yeah, so the full story of MIHA and how it came about is coming through. But just gotta get down the timeline.
Cool. Nice.
Yeah. So, but man, that's awesome. It's such a great story too, because you guys are, you're in the Wisconsin area. Your roller hockey, area has I hate to say it's dwindling down, but it's not dying because you guys are fighting and you're fighting tooth and nail to keep it going. So that's something that you guys should be commended for, because you guys are doing everything you can to secure a building, to find a way to get the leagues back up and going. What else is next for you guys outside of that, building up your numbers, getting that, the location secured, to keep it going? What do you see for the future? Because you've got, as you said earlier, you got youth that you guys want to start bringing in. Are you guys bringing any of those youth to some of the youth tournaments that they have for MIHA as well?
Not right now. So our youth is still pretty youthful. Like I think my son is probably the oldest youth at 5 right now currently. We've got maybe a 12 and a 8-year-old that we could get in. But right now it's whatever we can do, wherever we can start, right? And so even though I lost my facility, we have somewhere to play during the summertime. So from April through August, some of the Floss and Sauce guys run a league out of a rink that melts down the ice during the summertime. They had a connection with. So we expect to have 3 teams in our local league this summer.
Nice.
In addition to some other things. And they run a youth night right before games on Mondays. So that, we're trying to work with some guys to help build that up, and everything, with Monsters, the nostalgia of it, utilizing the logo and then the woodmark and everything, we're hoping to, recreate some of that spark and try to get some sponsorship to help grow things there, look for some grants, to build the youth programs, to try to find a facility. And, anybody that wants to hop on, we're always happy to talk with whoever wants to help grow it.
Yeah, it'd be nice to get a team in every division, especially at MIHA. That'd be the ultimate goal.
Yeah, and all it takes is getting the word out and trying to convert those ice hockey players into roller hockey players, because they're really gonna like it.
Right. I mean, our local league played, or we had one of our area high schools that have consistently had youth from like 2001 till 2022, and they consistently were one of the top area teams. Actually, they won state twice, I think 2016 and 2019, something like that. And then those are some of the kids that actually brought down to State Wars and coached them as well. And So I'm adamant, whether they want to believe it or not, I'm adamant that the roller hockey transition definitely helps. And, the biggest thing is you can't teach time and space and ice. And by roller taking away one player on each side and taking away icing and offsides, you automatically have that. So you can be a lot more creative. You don't have to be as decisive. It's not stick on, stick off. It's not, immediately getting rid of it. It's being able to make a decision and be creative about it.
And that's what
I like about roller. So I prefer roller over ice. I'm more comfortable on roller than ice. I've only recently started doing more ice, the last 2 years, but it's anything roller is the priority for me.
Yeah. I know Justin's dad's group gets a little annoyed at me sometimes because I'm more playing roller hockey out on the ice. I don't stay in my lane at all.
There's nothing wrong with that, I mean, I don't even know what would be to stay in your lane in ice hockey would be either. So
I don't even
I'd just be cycling, who cares? Screw it. Just give me the puck. I'm open.
Right.
So, but yeah, I did know that. I went with a 5/8 cut on my ice skates just recently, and that was a change from the previous cut that I had, and that was a lot better. I was able to really dig in, so I felt more stable on it. Let's put it that way. So maybe try that.
Yeah, it's trial and error. I think 5/8 and half inch are the two most common ones.
Yeah, I think.
I don't know the difference. I couldn't tell you the difference. I'm not. So Steve and I make a good team too because he's the product guy. He's the one that knows you should do this or you should get this stuff. I'm the coordinator. I've been playing hockey and running hockey leagues for 25 years, but I couldn't tell you why this stick is better than this one.
Or
why this wheel is better than this wheel or whatever. But Steve is the guy so if we have equipment or product questions, Steve's the guy. If it's logistics questions, team questions, gameplay questions, that's me. So we make a pretty good team that way.
Yep.
Yeah. No, I just know that the last time I went skating on ice, I did not like how, because my glide was it just didn't feel like my edges were sharp, even though they literally just sharpened them before I stepped out.
Sure.
And so I was just sliding. And then with this one, I mean, it was crazy because I just got a new set of skates and they just sharpened them up right there with the Bauer, whatever it is, just kind of like the Sparks, but
the Sparks
version. But it's the Bauer version, whatever that is, the Pro something.
Pro Sharp or something like that.
Yeah. And I was like, damn, that's a pretty nice. It's a really nice edge for me. So worked out well because my son was like, let's go skate. And I was like, all right. So I get him all dialed up. He's got his snow pants on and he's already out there on the floor before I even had a chance to put on a skate. And I was like, well, his first time and he ain't scared. That's good.
I got some new ice hockey skates and they had some fitment problems and went and got scanned. And the next thing you know, now I'm making custom roller hockey skates. I'm a different size, but man, they were a game changer. I skated like I was a little kid again this weekend.
Oh yeah, exactly. It was insane. Yep. I'm like, I was like talking to myself in my head. I'm going, okay, I get a couple years out of this and then convert them back into ice or to inline skates.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, ooh, this is a good boot.
Yep.
So that's probably what I'm going to do. But yeah. So, all right, guys. Well, we're running out of time. I do want to ask, what is next for the Madison Monsters? And for the future, because you guys are, looking to make an impact not only for this year but for future generations.
Definitely for this year, T4 is looking to make a name for itself, and we got a pretty good shot at making playoffs at this point. We're top seed right now. We have an extra tournament played, but points wise, we're still most likely going to get there. We just need to have a solid showing at our next tournament. These last two, we've gone 6-2 with the team that we actually want for T4. We've gone 6-2 with the tournament, and then last year we were 4-2-1 with the team that we actually wanted. So when we have the players that we expect there and we want there, we're a good quality team. T5, we came in with zero expectations. We didn't know what to expect, and 4-0 the first tournament, winning it. So expectation is to continue that momentum going into Detroit next month.
Awesome. Well, I'm excited. I can't wait to keep paying attention. I know MIHA this season has kind of gotten away from me, but with illnesses and once you get over, like my wife got COVID, I was sick, but I didn't have the COVID, but then the kids got sick, and then that just kind of took the wind out of everything for quite some time. So now that we're all, healthy and bouncing back on the mend, it's going to start to drop some more MIHA content this season. So I still have to do the MIHA. Yeah, I'm doing the MIHA recap later this week, and hopefully we'll get right back on track and talking about every event. So I'm looking forward to it.
We appreciate you guys being at events and doing the Sunday broadcast so people at home can watch, and you do a good job.
Yeah, I can't say enough for what Jake and the boys do. Jake, Sean, and all of those guys, and Carl for keeping the league going as well. And doing what they got to do to make it happen. So, all of the
we'd be happy to chat. I know there's some tournaments you guys can't make as well. It sounds like we might have a guy or two that might be interested in picking up the slack. Yeah, for especially for like the Chicago one or something for you guys, if that's a little far for you, because he said we actually had him start doing camera stuff because we were down a person, and he's like, dude, I like this. I'm gonna start doing commentating and turn off the TV and doing it myself and stuff. Yeah. So I mean, be happy to talk and see if we can work them in somehow.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. And who knows, maybe send them my way, and I'll chat with them too and see what's what.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean that's pretty cool. The boys, in Pittsburgh, Grove City area, they are phenomenal. And it's different for me because I'm the only Michigan guy. So I'm just outside of their normal range, but and ever since the baby was born, I haven't been able to do the traveling with them. So, but hey, I'll stick to doing the podcast for them.
Cool.
So, all right. Well, that's going to do it for this episode. I'm Ben W. Stock with Justin Alling and Steve Knudtson, right? Yes,
you got it.
I did it. Right. I didn't butcher it, and I knew I was going to at some point because I kept telling myself, "Don't say it, don't say it, don't say it," and then you do. So, but all right, boys. Well, I appreciate you taking the time. Good luck for the rest of the season, and don't hesitate to jump back on and shoot the breeze with me again.
Cool. Thanks for having us on, man.
Always a pleasure. Thank you.
Anytime. Cheers, boys. That's going to do it for this episode of GCH Podcast. I'm your host, Ben W. Stock, alongside Chris Greco. Thanks for tuning in. Please make sure you like and subscribe on all our platforms on YouTube and on Spotify. We'll see you guys on the next episode. Cheers.